All right, guys, this is Mr. Wyrick. I'm going to take you through this Chapter 7a review. We have the test tomorrow. So to start off with, all these ones on the graphing. When you go to graph them, for the most part, unless you have a k value or an h value, like you do on a couple of these, your a value there is your starting point. So on this one, it's 3. 1, 2, 3. On this one, it's a third. That'd be about right here. On this one, it's a fourth. That's even smaller. On this one, it's 2. On this one, it'd be, well, these two are the ones where it's different. On this, then, after that, we multiply by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be right here. Going backwards, we're dividing by 2. So that'd be 1.5 and then 0.75 and whatever. It would go approximately like that. My domain on every single one of these is all real numbers. And my range is always based on where that horizontal asymptote is. So on this one, it's y is greater than 0. This one is exponential growth. Most of these are actually exponential growth. They're multiplying by a number bigger than 1. If we were multiplying by a decimal, like the depreciation values, that's when we would have exponential decay. But for most of these examples on here, it's going to be exponential growth. The 1/3 times 3 means we're going to have 1, and then 3, and then the next one would be 9, which is somewhere up here. So it kind of goes like this. On this one, the 0.25 times 5 is going to be 1.25, and then like 6.25. So it kind of goes up a lot sharper, but again, it's all real numbers, and y is greater than 0. Same here. You can make a table to put these together. You can enter some values in your calculator. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, I can kind of skip over that one. On this one, we have this k value. So it would be, my a value is not here. It would be a 1, but it's a -2, so I'm going to go down 1, 2 from that spot. This -2 is going to be my brand new horizontal asymptote. So I'm going to come down here like this, just a general idea. This is going to be y is greater than -2, but my domain is still all real numbers. On this one, again, my a value is not written in. It would be a 1, so I would have a 1 here, but I don't do that. It's a +5, and that's my h value, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. My horizontal asymptote is still going to be the 0, and I'm doubling this for every 1 that I go over. So 1 times 2 is 2, times 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, times 2 would be 8. So it's going to go like this. Okay, just a general idea of what that's doing. Again, y is greater than 0 on this one, and the domain is all real numbers. On the word problems, the virus starts on the computers. It's one computer that it starts on. It increases 25%. That's got to be bigger than 1. So that's 1.25. You're going to raise that to the 10th power, the 30th power, and then the 60th power. It's going to be big numbers. Okay? It's going to be big numbers. The car depreciates in value by 15%. You multiply by what you keep. So that's going to be the price of the car, the $30,000 times 0.85. You raise it to the 4th power, you raise it to the 8th power, and how long will it take it to be worth less than half? That's this to the x is equal to, you just put half of your original value up there, which would be 15,000. You can divide both sides by 30,000, so it's really just 0.85 to the x is equal to 1/2. Okay, find out when that is, round it to the next year up. You'd be like, oh, after this point, it's going to be worth less than half. Attendance for the basketball. If this was a question on the test, I would pretty much accept anything because it doesn't say, it does say per game, but it doesn't say how many games are in a season. So really on this one, just show your work. 23,500 times 5% losing means we keep 95%, that's 0.95, and then just raise it to the 2nd power. On the back, these need to be in the same base. On the first one, it's already in base 3. So you just solve the exponents. 2x minus 1 equals x plus 2. No big deal. Starting on number 2 and moving forward, you have to get them to the same base. This one is good in base 2. So the one side stays the same. It's 2 to the 3x. On the other side, you have to rewrite that 4 as 2 squared because that's what 4 is equal to in base 2. and then we raise that to the x plus 2. You would distribute that 2, so it'd be 3x equals 2x plus 4. On 3 and 5, you have those fractionals. Remember, that number on the bottom is really what you're using to key on right there. On number 5 especially, this needs to be in base 2. You can't multiply 4 by itself to any power really and get 8 without having it be in fractional, and that's just a mess. With 16, you can't take like the square root of 16 and have it be 8. So we're going to go with 2. 8 is 2 to the third, so that's 2 to the third to the x minus 2. You distribute that, that's 3x minus 6. On this side, the 1/16th, 2 to the 4th power would equal 16, so that's 2 to the negative 4th. So this is just equal to a negative 4. You can do the same kind of thing with most of the rest of these. If you have questions on them, you can of course bring it in. 6 is going to be in base 5, 7 is going to be in base 3, 8 is going to be in base 6, 9, you can put it in base 4, you can put it in base 2, and if you convert it to either one of those, you should be able to solve it and get the exact same answer. Number 14, the $12,500 car. If it depreciates, it's going to be 0.91.
Students, if you ride bus 25, today you'll be riding bus 47. Once again, students, if you ride bus 25, today you'll be riding bus 47. Thank you.
There we go. Got that? Remember that forever because it's on a video. If it's a 3% increase, that's 1.03. We're raising that to the x. And again, you're supposed to find it after 5 years. It says to the nearest dollar. I would have gone dollars and cents, usually 2 decimal places with money. On the rest of these, the 4,000 students, it's growing 5%. That's 1.05. You just have to pay attention to if it's growing. This is 1,000. It's 4.5% annual interest. That's 1.045. The manufacturer bought a rolling press for 48,000. 48,000. It loses value of 15%. You keep 85%. That's 0.85. 9,000 investment that earned 6% interest compounded continually. Mark that one off. We haven't done compounded continuously. The simple interest you can do. 5% simple interest would just be you find 5% of that and you keep adding to it, okay? If it's compounded continuously, you skip the compounded continuously. The half-life one, kind of skip that. If there's a half-life question, I'll try to explain it before we do it, but I don't think there's one on here. And population, I think you can just do this one as an exponential. This would be 26,150 times, we don't know what, but that's to the 5th power is equal to 28,700. As long as you understand that we're not supposed to be compounding continuously, you should be able to work one like this, okay? I'll make sure on the test that we're not dealing with one that says compounded continuously, or if there is one, I'll just give it to you because you don't cover that until pre-cal. We have done the compounded quarterly. If you have questions about compounded quarterly, refer back to that older video or check in with me. I can kind of go over it with you, but there shouldn't be compounded quarterly on the test either. If there is, I'll try to give you a hint about it. Okay, that should be it. Good luck on your test tomorrow.
Thank you.